I'm sitting there on the couch, cradling my grandson Tommy in my arms. He's 6 months old, all chubby cheeks and big blue eyes, and I'm just soaking in that grandpa moment. Then, out of nowhere, he lets loose, milk and mush all over my favorite flannel shirt. I chuckle, because babies do that, right? No big deal. I'm wiping him down with my sleeve when my wife, Cheryl, walks in. She takes one look at me and says, "Looks like Tommy knows where the trash heap is." My son, Jake, who's sprawled out on the recliner, snickers and goes, "Kid's got good aim." Then my daughter-in-law, Lisa, pulls out her phone, snaps a picture, and says, "Perfect shot of the family punching back." They all laugh like it's some big comedy show, and I just sit there, rocking Tommy, not saying a word. He falls asleep in my arms, and I carry him to his crib. But inside, something's brewing. This morning, my phone's blowing up. Cheryl's called me 9 times, leaving voicemails that start calm and end with her practically shouting. Jake and Lisa are texting me too, all frantic. See, they crossed a line yesterday, and after 40 years of taking their crap, I finally did something about it. I'm 62, not perfect by a long shot, but I've busted my tail to give them a good life. This is my story, names are changed, but the hurt's real. I'm spilling it all here because, well, I need to get it off my chest. Let me paint the picture. I'm Ray, a guy who quit trade school back in the day to start a landscaping business. For 38 years, I've been out there mowing lawns, trimming hedges, hauling dirt, my knees creak, my shoulders ache, and I've got a belly that hangs over my belt a little more than it used to. But I built that business from scratch, turned it into something solid, and never once griped about the 50-hour weeks so my family could have a decent house, cars, vacations, you name it. Cheryl, my wife of 40 years, she's 58 now, she used to brag about me to her friends when we were younger. "Ray's a hard worker," she'd say, smiling. But somewhere along the line, maybe 20 years in, that changed. I reckon it started when her old high school buddy got a big job at some bank, while I was still coming home with grass stains on my jeans. Or maybe it was when her cousin hooked up with a lawyer. All I know is, the dig started small, little jabs like, "Ray, you're dragging mulching again," typical yard guy. Funny at first, but they got sharper over time. About 4 years back, Jake and Lisa hit a rough patch. They're in their mid-30s, Jake does warehouse stuff, Lisa's a receptionist, and the housing market around here went nuts. Couldn't afford a place. I've got this rental property, a little 2-bedroom house that pulls in steady cash, but I figured family's family. So I let them move in, charging them $800 a month when I could have gotten $1,600 easy. I fixed the leaky faucets, replaced the busted porch steps, even pay for their internet because they're on my plan. Been watching Tommy for free whenever they need a break, too. They're not hurting for money. Jake's got a decent paycheck. Lisa pulls her weight, but you'd think they were scraping by the way they act. What do I get for it? A constant stream of disrespect. Last Thanksgiving, Jake asked me if I even knew how to send a text, right there at the table with everybody watching. I've been running my business off a beat-up iPhone for years, scheduling jobs, invoicing clients, but he acts like I'm some caveman. "Pretty good for a guy who still uses a flip phone in his head," he said, and they all cracked up. Cheryl's no better. She'll rag on me at dinner about how I don't know how to order at fancy places. Ray fumbles with the menu like it's a puzzle, she'll say. "Look, I grew up eating mac and cheese from a box. Sorry, I didn't take etiquette classes." Then there was the 4th of July cookout last summer. I overheard her telling her brother, Ray's the poster boy for guys who never left the high school glory days. I played baseball back then, made varsity, guess that's a crime now. Jake's picked up Cheryl's habit of cutting me down. A couple weeks ago, I was out there fixing their clogged gutter, saved them a $200 repair bill. Lisa's standing on the porch with Tommy, saying to him, "See, sweetie, this is why you've got to study hard, so you don't end up crawling around in the mud when you're old like Grandpa." I just kept working, didn't even look up. But 2 days ago, that was the breaking point. I was babysitting Tommy while they went off to some craft beer thing. I love that kid. He's the only one in that house who doesn't look at me like I'm a nuisance. I just fed him, and we're rocking in the chair, me talking nonsense about trucks and trees, when he pukes all over me. Normal baby stuff. I'm laughing, telling him it's no trouble, when they walk in early. Cheryl sees me and says, "Looks like Tommy knows where the trash heap is." Jake snorts, "Kid's got good aim." Lisa snaps that photo and goes, "Perfect shot of the family punching back." They're howling, and I'm just sitting there, covered in baby vomit, holding Tommy while he fusses. I don't say a thing, just clean him up, rock him till he's out, and head home. Cheryl strolls in later, griping about the traffic, not even mentioning what went down. I couldn't sleep that night. Kept hearing her voice, "trash heap," and seeing Lisa's smirk while Jake laughed. 40 years with Cheryl, a son I raised, a grandson I'd die for, and that's what I am to them? The family joke? So yesterday, while Cheryl was at her book club, I got busy. Made some calls I've been putting off for way too long. See, they don't get it. I might not know how to pick the right spoon at a steakhouse, but I know how cash flows. I know who's been footing the bills all these years. I know Jake's been sneaking off to bed on football games, thinks I don't see the browser history when he's on my Wi-Fi. I know Cheryl's got a stash of catalogs and packages she hides in the garage. I know how much they rely on me, the guy they call a punching bag. By the time I was done, I felt lighter than I had in decades. Grabbed a soda, sat on the porch, and waited for the fallout. This morning, Cheryl's 9 call started at 6:15 sharp. Jake and Lisa chimed in too, 13 messages total by noon. I haven't called back yet. You spend your life letting folks walk all over you. They forget you can stand up whenever you damn well please. They're about to find out. So, there I was, sitting on my porch with a soda in hand, feeling like I just dropped a 50-pound bag of mulch off my shoulders. Yesterday, after Cheryl and the kids crossed that line with the trash heap and punching bag nonsense, I'd had enough. 40 years of being their doormat, their bank account, their fix-it guy, and they still treated me like some washed-up nobody. I made those calls while Cheryl was off at her book club, sipping tea and pretending she's high society. Now it's morning, and my phone's lighting up like a Christmas tree. 9 calls from Cheryl, 4 from Jake and Lisa combined, 13 messages by the time the sun's fully up. I'm sipping my coffee, watching the birds peck at the feeder, and I ain't called a single one of them back yet. Let me tell you what I did, 'cause folks, this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment tantrum. I've been the family cash cow for too long, pouring my landscaping money into their lives while they chuck insults at me like it's a game. I was planning to ease up in a few years, maybe sell the business and kick back, but that'd mean counting on them to step up. After yesterday, I said forget that. I'm retiring from being their personal ATM, effective immediately. Here's how it went down. First call was to my lawyer, Tom. Good guy. Known him since we were kids fishing at the creek. I told him I needed to lock down what's mine, set up a meeting for that afternoon to talk about shielding my savings and the business. Second call was to the property manager who handles my rental house where Jake and Lisa live. I said, starting today, that place goes to full market rate, $1,600 a month, not $800. Send him the paperwork tomorrow. Third call was to my bank. Started splitting off my accounts, making sure Cheryl can't dip into the big pile anymore. Fourth call was my insurance guy. Told him to yank Jake and Lisa's truck off my policy. Been covering that for just a little while since they moved in 4 years ago. Fifth call was to my accountant, Dave. He's been nagging me to protect my retirement for years. We talked about rerouting the business profits so I'm not bleeding cash to folks who don't appreciate it. By lunchtime, the gears were turning. This wasn't about spite, it was about waking him up to the real world. See, Jake's got this betting thing he thinks I don't know about. Football games, horse races, he's been flushing money down the drain. Probably 40 grand over the last couple years. He uses my Wi-Fi when they're over, and I've seen the sites in the router locks. Dumb kid thinks he's slick. Cheryl, meanwhile, she's got her own secret. She's been ordering stuff online like it's her job. Clothes, kitchen gadgets, fancy candles, piles of boxes she stashes in the garage. I found a credit card bill once, tucked in a drawer, showing she's racked up 30 grand she don't want me to know about. All while she's telling me I spend too much on gas for the mower. Cheryl got home from book club around 2 p.m., yammering about some lady who brought store-bought cookies instead of homemade. I'm at the kitchen table, flipping through a seed catalog, barely grunting at her. Then her phone buzzes. Tom, my lawyer, sent her an email copying me, confirming our meeting about financial adjustments and possible asset separation. Her jaw drops, and she goes from annoyed to ghost white in about 2 seconds. Ray, what's this about? She says, voice all shaky. You stepping out on me? You gone crazy? I just look at her, calm as can be, and say, no, I ain't cheating. No, I ain't crazy. I'm just done. She switches gears fast, starts calling me dear and honey, like that's gonna fix 20 years of snide remarks. I keep eating my ham sandwich, not biting. Around 3:30, Jake texts me. The property manager called M. New rent's coming, $1,600 starting next month. Is this a mistake, Dad? He writes. I text back. No. 10 minutes later, Lisa's on the phone. I let it ring. She leaves 3 voicemails, each one more wound up. The last one, she's practically begging. Ray, we can't swing this. Give us a heads up at least. By supper, Cheryl's pacing the kitchen, checking our bank app. She sees I've moved most of the money, left just enough for the electric bill and groceries. She starts bawling. What's wrong with you, Ray? Why are you doing this? I set my plate down, look her dead in the eye, and say, you remember yesterday? Calling me a trash heap in front of Tommy? Laughing while Lisa took that picture. She stammers. It was a joke. You're too sensitive. That's when I pull out the credit card bill I dug out of the garage, 30 grand in red ink. Her face freezes, like she's seen a bear in the backyard. For once, she's got nothing to say. I slept on the couch that night, not 'cause she told me to, but 'cause I couldn't stand being in the same room. My phone kept buzzing. Jake, Lisa, Cheryl again. I turned it off and watched the ceiling fan spin till I dozed off. Next morning, I'm up at 6 o'clock, meeting Tom at his office. We spend 2 hours hashing it out. Not divorce yet, but protection. He says write everything down, every mean word, every dollar they've squeezed out of me. I'd already started, got a notebook full of it. When I get home, Jake's truck is in the driveway, Tommy strapped in the back. Jake's sitting on the tailgate, looking like a kicked dog. Using my grandson as a shield, low move. I almost soften when I see Tommy's little grin, but then I hear Lisa's voice in my head. Family punching bag. Jake starts in. Dad, how could you? We can't pay $1,600. We'll have to move. You want Tommy in some dump 'cause you're mad. I lean in close and say, You know about that 40 grand you've bet on games? His eyes go wide. He didn't think I knew. Ask Lisa where that money went before you cry about rent. He shuts up, grabs Tommy, and peels out. By week's end, it's chaos. Jake showed up at my shop, yelling in front of my crew, begging 1 minute, cussing me out the next. Said I'd never see Tommy again if I kept this up. I recorded it all on my phone, just in case. Cheryl packed a bag and went to her mom's, but not before trying one last guilt trip. 40 years, Ray. Don't that mean anything? I said, does it mean anything to you? She left quiet. Last night, I'm on the porch with a soda when Jake posts that picture online, me covered in Tommy's puke, with a rant about selfish old men. Nobody liked it. A couple folks told him to knock it off. This morning, Lisa texts me. We need to talk, just me. Found something on Jake's laptop. We're meeting tomorrow at the diner. No Jake. I don't know what's next, but I'll tell you this, standing up feels a hell of a lot better than lying down. So, yesterday was a day I won't forget anytime soon. After all the mess with Cheryl, Jake, and Lisa, the calls, the threats, the online whining, I'd agreed to meet Lisa at the diner on Main Street. She'd texted me, saying she found something on Jake's laptop and wanted to talk. Just the two of us, no Jake. I'm 62 years old, been through a lot, but walking into that diner felt like stepping into a storm I couldn't see yet. I've spent 40 years keeping this family afloat, and now it's all unraveling. But you know what? I'm starting to like the feel of the ground under my own 2 feet. I get there at 10 a.m., grab a booth by the window, and order a black coffee. Lisa rolls in 5 minutes later, looking like she hasn't slept in a week, hair in a messy ponytail, eyes red, wearing an old sweatshirt with paint stains on it. No wedding ring on her finger, which I notice right off. She slides into the seat across from me, sets her laptop on the table, and doesn't even say hello, just pushes it toward me and flips it open. I ain't ready for what I see. Jake's betting problem? It's worse than I thought. I'd pegged him at 40 grand down the drain, but the numbers on that screen say 78,000 bucks. Loans on their truck, 5 maxed out credit cards, and get this, he's been dipping into Lisa's savings from her grandma's inheritance. But that ain't the half of it. There's emails too, to some chick named Tammy, going back 2 years. Dirty stuff. Hotel bills, photos I can't unsee. And the kicker? He's been sending this garbage from my Wi-Fi when they're at my house, while I'm out back mowing their lawn or watching Tommy so they can go drink beer. Lisa's staring at me, not crying, just hollow, like she's past the point of tears. Can me and Tommy stay with you for a bit? She asks, voice flat. I lean back, sip my coffee, and say, yeah, but this ain't me bailing you out again. You're on your own 2 feet this time. She nods, like she expected that. What I don't tell her is what I'd already done after that last meeting with Tom, my lawyer. I'd locked down 90% of my money, savings, business profits, into accounts they can't touch. But I didn't stop there. I'd made some other calls too. To Jake's dad, my old buddy from high school who moved out west. To his foreman at the warehouse. To the guy who hosts the Saturday betting pool at the bar. I laid it all out, showed him the proof from the router logs and the bank statements I'd dug up. Jake's dad was floored, said he'd cut him off. His boss muttered something about reliability and hung up. The betting crew told him he's out, no more games. All that happened in 2 days flat. I'd also done something else. Over the years, I'd kept a list, every rotten thing they'd said to me. Texts like, Ray's too dumb to figure out the TV remote, voicemails from Cheryl laughing about my work boots, Jake's jabs about me being stuck in the 80s. I put it all in a folder, screenshots, recordings, the works, and emailed it to Cheryl's mom, her brother, and her best friend from church. Subject line, this is how they've treated me. I'm done. The replies hit fast. Her mom called it shameful. Her brother said Cheryl's a stranger to him now. Her friend texted me, I had no idea. Ray, I'm sorry. By Friday, Cheryl's got nobody left to crash with, her mom told her to leave. Jake's falling apart too. His buddy Mike let him couch surf for a couple days, but kicked him out when Jake couldn't pay for pizza. No family, no pals, no credit. He shows up at my place at 11 p.m. last night, banging on the door, reeking of cheap whiskey. Let me see my son, he's yelling. I don't even crack the door, just hit record on my phone and call the sheriff through that app one got last month. Deputies roll up, find a baggie of pills in his truck. Not my mess to clean up. Lisa filed for custody the next morning, emergency hearings set for next week. Then there's Cheryl. She tracks me down today at the hardware store. I'm picking up screws for a birdhouse I'm building. She follows me through the aisles, pleading, Ray, 5 minutes, please. I pull out my phone, hit record, and say, go on. She collapses right there by the paint cans, tears, apologies, the whole show. I'm sorry, I was awful, I'll change, she says. I look at her and ask, you remember calling me a trash heap in front of Tommy? Laughing while Lisa snapped that photo? 40 years of tearing me down? She's got no answer, just sobs. I grab my screws and walk out. Couple folks nearby had their phones out. By supper, it's on the town's Facebook page. Petty? Sure. Satisfying? You bet. A week later, the dominoes keep falling. The property managers started eviction papers. Jake and Lisa missed the new rent twice now. Their credit's shot. Jake couldn't rent a shed if he tried. Cheryl's learning life ain't cheap without my checkbook. Her fancy coffee shop habits gone, car's on its last repo warning, and she's crashing with a coworker at 58, picking up extra shifts at the florist. Lisa's the only one showing some spine. She's working doubles at the front desk, signed up for night classes online. When she thanks me for letting her and Tommy stay, I tell her, this ain't free, you're pitching in around the house. She agrees, no whining. 3 weeks in, they want to talk, all of them together. My house, my rules. They show up looking rough. Cheryl's hair's gray at the roots, she's put on a few pounds. Jake's skinny, twitchy, like he's barely eating. Lisa's off to the side, arms crossed. I lay it out plain. I'll help Lisa and Tommy get steady, but it's a loan, not a gift. You pay it back. Jake, you want to see your kid? Get clean, get a job, pay support. Cheryl, we're done unless you own up to everything. Counseling, separate money, no more games. And if any of you disrespect me again, you're out for good. They cry, they argue, they beg, but they nod in the end. Not 'cause they want to, 'cause they're out of options. It's been a month now. Lisa and Tommy are still with me. She's saving up, paying me a little each week. Jake's in a halfway house, working at a gas station, seeing Tommy supervised. Cheryl's still with her coworker. We've had 2 counseling sessions, but I ain't moving back in. Last night, I'm on the porch with a soda, Tommy asleep upstairs, when Lisa says, thanks, Ray, for not giving up on us. I grunt, don't thank me yet. You're still climbing out of this hole. But inside, I feel it, something I ain't felt in years. Respect. Not just from them. From me. It's been 6 weeks since I turned my family's world upside down, and I'm sitting here on my porch, sipping a soda, watching the leaves turn yellow. The air's crisp, Tommy's napping upstairs with Lisa keeping an eye on him, and for the first time in years, I ain't got that knot in my gut. I'm Ray, 62, a landscaper who spent 40 years breaking my back so Cheryl, Jake, and Lisa could live easy, only to get called a trash heap and punching bag in front of my grandson. I'd had enough, made some calls, lawyer, bank, property manager, and cut off the money train. Now they're scrambling, and I'm finding out what it's like to breathe without carrying their weight. Lisa's been staying with me since she found out Jake's been betting away 78 grand and messing around with some gal named Tammy. She's got Tommy in the spare room, and I told her straight up, this ain't a free ride. She's paying me $200 a month, helps with dishes, takes out the trash. She's working extra shifts at the front desk, even started some online bookkeeping course. Says she wants to stand on her own, and I'll give her this, she's trying. Jake's another story. After the sheriff hauled him off that night he showed up drunk, they found pills in his truck. He's in a halfway house now, pumping gas part-time. Sees Tommy once a week with a social worker watching. He don't talk much when he's here, just nods and keeps his head down. Cheryl's still crashing with her coworker, picking up hours at the florist. Her car got repoed last week. She called me crying about it, but I didn't pick up. We've had 3 counseling sessions, and it's like pulling teeth. She says she's sorry, but then she'll slip and blame me for overreacting. The counselor, a wiry guy named Phil, keeps saying I've got pin-up frustration. No kidding, Phil. I ain't decided if we're done for good, but I know one thing. I ain't going back to how it was. My money's locked tight, business profits rerouted, and that rental house? Eviction notice went out yesterday. Jake and Lisa didn't pay the new $1,600 rate again, and the property manager's done playing nice. Last weekend, I'm out front raking leaves when Cheryl pulls up in her coworker's beat-up sedan. She's got bags under her eyes, hair's all gray now, she ain't been to the salon in a while. Ray, we need to talk, she says, stepping out. I keep raking. Don't even look up. Go ahead, I tell her. She starts and says she knows she screwed up, wants to fix us, swears she'll never cut me down again. I stop, lean on the rake, and say, you remember telling Tommy I'm a trash heap? 40 years of you chipping away at me? She starts sniffling, says it was just words. I shake my head, go back to raking. Words that cost you, Cheryl. She stands there a minute, then drives off. Neighbor across the street was watering his lawn, told me later he saw the whole thing. Said I looked calm as a lake. Felt like it too. Jake's been quiet, but Lisa's opening up. She showed me more of Jake's mess last night, emails where he's begging Tammy for cash, promising to leave Lisa. Made my blood boil, but I kept cool. Told Lisa, you're better off without that fool. She nodded, said she's filing divorce papers next week. I offered to watch Tommy while she meets the lawyer, least I can do for that kid. He's the only one who still smiles at me like I'm worth something. Yesterday, he grabbed my finger while I was feeding him, and I swear it's the best thing I've felt in months. The blowback's still coming, though. Cheryl's brother called me, said he's done with her after seeing that folder I sent. All those years of her nasty texts and voicemails. Her mom won't take her back either. Jake's old betting buddies won't even look at him. Word got around after I tipped off their ringleader. His foreman cut his hours at the warehouse before he landed in the halfway house, said he's a liability. Lisa's credits tanked from Jake's debts, but she's clawing her way back. Me? I'm sleeping better than I have since I was 30. Ain't guilt keeping me up. It's the quiet satisfaction of watching him figure out life without my wallet. This morning, I'm at the shop, checking on a mower blade, when Lisa calls. Ray, Jake's been texting me. He wants to meet all of us tomorrow. Says he's got something to say. I grunt, my place, my terms. 6 p.m. She agrees, says she'll tell Cheryl too. I hang up, finish the blade, and head home. Part of me wonders if Jake's finally waking up, or if he's just digging a deeper hole. Either way, I ain't budging. I've spent decades worrying what they think of me, bending over backwards to keep him happy. Now, I'm just Ray, a guy with a grandson he loves, a business he built, and a spine I forgot I had. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting, but I ain't scared. I've already won the war, they just don't know it yet. So, it's 6 p.m. tonight, and my kitchen's turned into a battlefield without a single punch thrown. I told Lisa yesterday we could meet, me, her, Jake, and Cheryl at my place, my rules. I'm Ray, 62, a landscaper who spent 40 years keeping this family's heads above water, only to get spit on with names like Trash Heap and Punching Bag in front of my grandson, Tommy. 6 weeks ago, I shut off the money tap, locked my savings, jacked the rent on their house, cut them off my insurance, and now they're feeling the heat. I ain't here to gloat, but I ain't here to cave either. I'm at the table with a glass of iced tea when they show up. Lisa walks in first, Tommy on her hip, she's got bags under her eyes but a set jaw, like she's ready for whatever. Jake slinks in behind her, looking like a scarecrow, thin, jittery, hair all greasy. He's been in that halfway house since the sheriff nabbed him with pills in his truck, working at a gas station now. Cheryl's last, shuffling in with a thrift store coat and gray roots showing she's been bunking with a coworker since her mom kicked her out. They sit down, nobody saying much, just staring at the table like it's got answers carved in it. I break the silence. You wanted this, Jake. What's on your mind? He fidgets, rubs his hands together, then mumbles, I messed up, Dad. I know it. The betting, then the other stuff. I'm trying to fix it. His voice cracks, and I see Lisa stiffen. She ain't buying it, not after finding out he blew 78 grand and was emailing some gal named Tammy behind her back. Cheryl jumps in. Ray, we're all sorry. Can we work this out? For Tommy. She's got that pleading look she's been practicing in counseling, but it don't hit me like it used to. Lisa stays quiet, just bounces Tommy on her knee. I lean back, take a sip of tea, and lay it out. Here's how it's gonna be. Lisa, you and Tommy can stay here till you're steady $200 a month. You keep pitching in, and any help I give's a loan you pay back. Jake, you want time with your kid? Stay clean, keep that job, start paying support, no unsupervised visits till I see proof. Cheryl, we're separated. If you want a shot at fixing us, it's counseling, separate bank accounts, and you own up to every damn word you've said. One slip, any of you, and you're cut off for good. That's it. My voice is steady, like I'm reading a work order, but inside I'm waiting for the pushback. Jake's first to crack. That's harsh, Dad. I'm trying here, give me a break. I look at him, calm as can be, and say, you had breaks 78 grand worth, plus my Wi-Fi for your side piece. Try harder. He shuts up, face red. Cheryl starts crying, 40 years, Ray, don't that count? I shoot back. Did it count when you laughed at me covered in Tommy's puke? She hiccups, no answer. Lisa finally speaks, voice low. I'm in, Ray. I'll pay you back. Jake's on his own. She don't even glance at him. Divorce papers are already in motion. The room's thick with tension, but they nod, one by one. Ain't, 'cause they're happy about it. They're just out of rope. Jake's credit's toast, can't rent a closet. Cheryl's scraping by at the florist, no more fancy coats or coffee runs. Lisa's got Tommy into plan. She's been saving from her double shifts, says she'll move out by spring if she keeps at it. Me? I'm holding the line. I've spent decades letting him walk all over me, thinking that's what a good dad, a good husband, does. Now I know better. Love don't mean taking crap forever. After they leave, Jake first, then Cheryl, Lisa's staying with Tommy. I sit there, tea gone warm, and think about what's happened. 6 weeks ago, I made those calls, lawyer, bank, property manager, 'cause they pushed me too far. Since then, I've slept like a rock every night. Ain't guilt, ain't anger, just peace. I sent that folder of their ugly words to Cheryl's folks and friends, and it burned her bridges. Jake's betting crew and boss ditched him after I spilled the beans. Lisa's the only one climbing out, and I'm proud of her for it, even if I don't say it much. Next day, I'm at the shop, tuning up a trimmer, when the property manager calls. Jake and Lisa's stuff's still in the rental, eviction's official tomorrow. They've got till noon to clear out, or it's trash. I tell him, let him figure it out. Hang up, get back to work. That night, Lisa's in the living room, Tommy asleep on her chest. She says, Jake's begging me to take him back. Showed up at work today. I grunt. What did you say? She smirks, told him to shove it. I'm done cleaning his messes. I nod, first time I've smiled at her in weeks. Cheryl calls later, leaves a voicemail. Ray, I'm trying. Can we talk more? I don't call back, not yet. Counseling's tomorrow, and I'll see what she brings. Part of me misses her, the old her, from when we were young, and she'd kiss me with grass stains on my shirt. But that's gone, and I ain't chasing ghosts. I head to bed, Tommy's soft snores drifting down the hall. For once, I ain't the family joke. I'm the guy who stood up. And that feels better than any paycheck I ever cashed. It's been 2 months now since I flipped the script on my family, and I'm sitting in my truck outside the shop, eating a turkey sandwich and listening to the radio hum some old country tune. I'm Ray, 62, a landscaper who spent 40 years keeping Cheryl, Jake, and Lisa comfortable, only to get slapped with trash heap and punching bag right in front of my grandson, Tommy. That day broke something in me, or maybe it fixed it. I made those calls, lawyer, bank, property manager, and cut him loose financially. Now they're floundering, and I'm watching from the sidelines, not bending an inch. Lisa's still at my place with Tommy, paying her $200 a month and pulling her weight. She's tougher than I gave her credit for, working doubles, taking those online classes, saving every dime. Last week, she showed me a bank statement, got $1,200 tucked away for a deposit on a little apartment. Spring's my goal, she says, and I believe her. Tommy's growing fast, crawling now, giggling when I bounce him on my knee. He's the bright spot in all this mess, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't love having him around. Lisa filed the divorce papers a month back. Jake signed him without a fight, probably cause he's got bigger problems. Jake's a wreck. He's still at that halfway house, pumping gas, but I hear from my buddy at the station he's been showing up late, smelling like a bar. His supervised visits with Tommy are down to once every 2 weeks. He missed the last one, said he was sick. Social worker called me to check in, and I told her straight, he's got to prove he's worth a damn before I let him near that boy unsupervised. She agreed, said he's on thin ice. The rental house? Eviction went through 3 weeks ago. Jake didn't clear out his stuff. Lisa grabbed what she could for Tommy, and the rest hit the curb. Saw a picture online, his old recliner sitting in the rain. Felt a twinge, but it passed quick. Cheryl's hanging on by a thread. She's still with her coworker, working extra at the florist, but she's drowning without my money. Her car's gone, her fancy habits are history, she's even selling off jewelry at pawn shops, according to Lisa. We've had 6 counseling sessions now, and it's a slog. Phil, the counselor, keeps pushing me to open up, but I ain't got much to say beyond. She treated me like dirt for 20 years. Cheryl cries a lot, promises she'll change, but last session she slipped, said I was too stubborn to see her side. I looked at Phil and said, that's the real her peeking out. He nodded, scribbled something down. I ain't moved back in, and I don't know if I will. She called yesterday, begging for a coffee meetup. I said, maybe next week, and left it there. The fallout spread wide. Cheryl's brother won't talk to her, says that folder I sent with her nasty texts and voicemails opened his eyes. Her mom's done too, told her to grow up. Her church friends stopped inviting her to brunch after reading it. Jake's betting pals cut him loose after I tipped off their ringleader, and his old warehouse job's a memory. Foreman said he's unreliable. Lisa's the only one building something. Her credit's still shot from Jake's debts, but she's chipping away at it. Me? I'm steady. Business is good. Picked up 2 new clients last month, and I've got my money locked down tight. Sleep comes easy these days. No more tossing and turning over their garbage. This morning, I'm at the hardware store grabbing bolts for a mower when Jake shows up out of nowhere. He's in a stained hoodie, hands shoved in his pockets, looking like he ain't slept. Dad, I need help, he says, voice all raspy. I'm gonna lose the gas station job, rent's due at the halfway house. I set the bolts down, look him in the eye. You got 78 grand to burn on bets and Tammy, but you can't pay $300 for a cot? He flinches, mutters, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I say, trying enough. Get clean, get steady, then we'll talk about Tommy. Till then, figure it out. He stares at me, eyes wet, then shuffles off. Clerk behind the counter, old guy named Hank, watches him go and says, tough love, huh, Ray? I nod. Only kind that works sometimes. That night, Lisa's in the kitchen washing bottles while I'm flipping through a seed catalog. She says, Jake texted me again, wants money this time. I told him no. I grunt, good. He's got to hit bottom before he climbs up. She nods, then adds, Cheryl stopped by work today, asked if I'd talk you into taking her back. I set the catalog down. What did you say? She smirks, told her it's your call, not mine. She didn't like that. I chuckle, first time I've laughed in a while. Lisa's growing a backbone, and it's a sight to see. Next day, I'm out back splitting firewood when the mail comes. There's a letter from Cheryl, handwritten, first one in years. She says she's sorry, says she's been lost, wants to prove she can be better. I read it twice, then toss it on the counter. Counseling's tomorrow, I'll bring it up then, see if she's got action behind those words. Part of me still remembers the Cheryl who'd cook me supper after a long day, but that's a ghost now. I ain't chasing it unless she shows me something real. For now, I'm content. Tommy's giggling upstairs, Lisa's humming in the kitchen, and I've got a stack of wood for winter. They're learning I ain't their doormat no more, and I'm learning I don't need their approval to sleep sound. It's been 6 months since I turned the tables on my family, and I'm out on my porch tonight, rocking in my old chair with a cold soda in hand, watching fireflies blink across the yard. I'm Ray, 62, a landscaper who gave 40 years to Cheryl, Jake, and Lisa, busting my hump so they could have it good, only to get hit with trash heap and punching bag in front of my grandson, Tommy. That was the last straw. I made those calls, lawyer, bank, property manager, shut off the cash flow, and watched him scramble. Now, half a year later, the dust settled, and I'm still standing. Here's how it all shook out. Lisa and Tommy moved out last month. She's got a little one-bedroom place across town, nothing fancy, but it's hers. She saved up from those double shifts and online classes, paid me back every cent of the $200 a month she owed, plus a little extra for the times I watched Tommy. She's a bookkeeper now, part-time, and her boss says she's got an knack for it. Tommy's walking wobbly, but determined, and every time I see him, he toddles over with that big grin. Lisa's divorce from Jake went through clean. She's done with him, and I don't blame her. She stopped by yesterday with a coffee can full of quarters, said it's her emergency fund now, not Jake's betting stash. I told her, "You're tougher than I thought, kid." She smiled, first real one I've seen in ages. Jake's a different story. He lost that gas station job 3 months back, showed up drunk one too many times. Halfway House kicked him out after he missed rent, and last I heard, he's crashing on some buddy's couch downtown. His supervised visits with Tommy stopped. He ain't shown up in 2 months. Social worker says he's off the radar, probably still chasing bets for Tammy or whatever hole he's digging next. I saw him last week at the gas station, not working, just loitering. He looked at me, all hollow-eyed, and said, "Dad, I'm sorry." I nodded, said, "Prove it with something besides words," and drove off. Ain't my job to fix him. He's gotta want it. His old betting crew won't touch him, and his warehouse days are done. He's on his own, and I sleep fine knowing it. Cheryl's a shadow of herself. She's still at the florist, living with that co-worker in a cramped apartment. No car, no fancy coats. She's selling off the last of her trinkets to make rent. We've had 12 counseling sessions, and it's a slog. She wrote that letter a while back, swearing she'd change, but in person, she waffles, apologizes, then blames me for pushing her away. Last session, Phil asked if I wanted to keep going. I said, not unless she owns it, all of it. Cheryl cried, said she's trying, but I ain't seen enough. She moved out officially 3 months ago, signed a lease, no more crashing with folks who won't take her. Her brother's done, her mom's done, her church friend's done, all cause of that folder I sent with her venom laid bare. She called last night, asked if we could try dinner. I said, maybe someday, and hung up. I ain't closing the door, but I ain't rushing through it either. The rental house is back on the market, new tenants move in next week, paying full $1,600. My business is humming, picked up a big contract with the county park last month. Money's safe, locked in accounts they can't touch, and I'm thinking about a fishing cabin down by the lake next year. Sleep's been good, no more waking up mad or guilty. I've spent decades worrying what they thought, taking their jabs, cause I figured that's what family does. Now I know family don't mean being a doormat, it means respect, and I've earned mine. Today was Tommy's 2nd birthday, a little party at Lisa's place. She invited me, just me, no Jake, no Cheryl. It's a small setup, balloons, a cake she baked herself, some toys for Tommy. I'm there with a wooden truck I carved for him. He loves it, pushes it around giggling. Lisa's got a couple work friends over, and it's quiet, nice. At one point, Tommy's in my lap, mashing cake in his hands, and he smears some on my shirt. Room goes still, Lisa freezes, watching me. I laugh, wipe it off, and say, "Kid's got a talent for messes, huh?" Nobody dares say a word, but I catch Lisa's eye and grin. Anybody got something smart to add? I ask, voice light but firm. They all shake their heads. Lisa even chuckles. That's when it hits me. They don't see me as the joke no more. I'm Ray, the guy who stood up, and they know it. Driving home, I think about it all. Cheryl's begging didn't break me. Jake's fall didn't sink me. Lisa's climb didn't need me to carry her. I didn't need some big revenge. Just let him face what they built. Cheryl's learning life's hard without my checkbook. Jake's hitting bottom, maybe for good. Lisa's rising, and Tommy's got a shot cause of it. Me? I'm free. Not angry, not bitter, just free. I crack a soda, sit on the porch, and watch the stars. Ain't a perfect ending. Families are messy, but it's mine. I ain't the trash heap or the punching bag. I'm a man who found his worth, and nobody's taking that away. Sometimes the best win ain't knocking him down. It's walking away with your head high, a cold drink in hand, and a future you built yourself.